As the lights are flashing, we could be set for a go. Thompson, Finch, Lanemore. Watch out for the number 9 cart coming right from the tail end of the grid. Benjamin Piper in the 26th, last man on the field. Racing and away, an even start. It looked like on the outside it was Rick Pringle who got the jump, but as they work through Conacher for the first time, the Pringles side by side as they work it up the hill. Now it looks like Jason making a move. Rick out in front as they work their way on lap number 1. Jason Pringle makes the move to the lead as they come down the hill. Jason Pringle from Rick Pringle, your running order as they head to the infield for the first time. So the Pringles leading the way here on lap number 1 through the infield hairpin. Jason Pringle just bring up a lot of surface water, Glenn, as they work their way around to complete lap number 1.
Craig Storner in front of Craig is the 89 card of Jay Waters. Is that Jay Waters?
89 is Solomon. So Solomon working out in third position. Trent Moore back there in the 57, running in 4th place. Saunter in the 91s, followed by Lane Moore. Now Lane Moore came off the back spot of the grid out of position 18 and has already worked through the field up to position number 6. I told you that number 9 cart was going to be one to watch, as you can see them battling through the traffic. Oh, one cart off into the dirt through the infield hairpin. That will cost them some ground indeed. Rick Pringle continues to lead here in cart 35. Lane Moore up into 4th position now. That's the battle just behind the leaders. And watch the 9 cart as it goes into Conacher. Tight line there, just tried to pinch the cart under Craig Saunter in the 91 as they head up the hill. The battle is for 3rd place with Jason Pringle just checking out far enough that he doesn't have any problems. But at the 3rd place battle, Saunter and Moore in the 91 and the 9, and joining into that battle now, Simon Meyer. So Meyer has already moved up a couple of spots, but the real charger is Lane Moore. Moore set the fastest time in qualifying 1 with a 42.311. These wet weather conditions saw Moore's best lap a 51, to give you some idea of just the difference between the wet and dry times. As Moore continues to put the pressure on in 2nd position, in 3rd position, Saunter is maintaining his line, not letting the hard charging Moore worry him too much. Back there in the 5th position, Simon Meyer starting to close in on Lane Moore, and then Trent Moore in the 57, who had all those troubles on the dummy grid getting out onto the racetrack. Well, he is now starting to close in as well for 6th position, trying to get onto that 3rd place battle as they concertina together. Race leader Jason Pringle heads through the final turn. Rick Pringle just holding on, still a half a second behind Jason Pringle as they cross the line. So back up into Conacher again, the tight line being run by cart number 9 in Lane Moore, trying to get under the 91 for that battle for 3rd position. Dropping back a slightly is Simon Meyer in 5th position. As Pringles, the 2 Pringles now being caught by Craig Saunter and that battle group that is running in 3rd, 4th, and Meyer just dropping off that now. The battle at the front. Jason Pringle has just been passed by Rick Pringle, who did well there, setting up the move, but a big off into the dirt there and rejoining. I think that's the 43 of Chris Board. Leader at the line with 11 laps left to run is Rick Pringle in the 33 card. So for them on-board camera, you'll see clean track in front of you now as Rick Pringle sets up the hill. Jason Pringle running in 2nd, then it's Craig Saunter, Lane Moore and Simon Meyer wrapping up the top 5.
This is turning out to be quite a tussle up front for the major honours in the New South Wales titles for the Rotax heavy class, and it's the number 33 cart of Rick Pringle, that is the leader over his brother Jason, as they come into the infield hairpin. And I can see that Lane Moore has moved right up onto into third place. Just behind him is Simon Meyer, and then Craig Saunders moved one step back behind the number 27 cart, is it? Or 37? The 37 cart. Just look down the grid sheet to see who that is. 57, it was Trent Moore. So Trent Moore up there in 5th position at the moment as they head up to, or in 4th position actually, as they head up over the Yokohama Bridge. Storner makes a move on the inside as they go out of our view, and Storner comes out in front in 5th position as they head down to the tractor tyre corner, and Rick Pringle's still the leader as they make their way into the infield proper. It's the other Pringle, Jason, is probably 4 or 5 cart lengths back. The major difference between these two Pringles is the way they get through Conica Corner. You watch the different lines of the two Pringles and you'll notice, you'll see why it's Rick out in front, that he's got the wider, drier line and seems to get much better drive out of there. But there's a lot of action coming on now for third place, and the protagonist there is Ryan Moore, and as I speak, Ryan is right onto the back of Pringle as they head up to the Conica Bridge, and yet again it's Rick Pringle that's taken a huge margin up that hill. He comes out of Conica Corner so much better than his brother. So Moore's got through, and Moore now is in 2nd place. So this is a great drive from Lane Moore. He's come from, which position did he come out of? Oh, right from the rear of the grid. This is a wonderful drive. This is really something that is going to go down in the annals of New South Wales Championship history, I think, if he can come up and do something other than 2nd spot with this one. But Pringle already into the Speedway corner. Lane looks to me like he's catching every inch of the way as they head down towards Conica Corner. Note the wide line that Rick takes as opposed to the two chasers who go in much tighter towards the verge, and the distance that they lose is remarkable. It's surprising to me that they haven't woken up to this at this stage. They've got a real good example right in front of them in Rick Pringle, who's the leader of the race. And as Rick heads down towards the infield for the 8th time with 7 laps or 7.5 laps left to go, it's still Pringle over Moore, and then Jason Pringle behind him. It's Simon Meyer in the number 3 cart. Then comes Craig Saunders in the 91 cart. Behind him, it's the 57 cart again of Trent Moore as they head up towards the Conica Corner, and Trent Moore looks to make a run on the inside, but he's side by side as they come out of there. But the better runner's on the outside, the drier track, less wheel spin. And Saunders is the one that comes out on top over that one. Our leader is already down towards the tractor tyre corner. And looking back over the field, Craig, there doesn't appear to be too much in the way of dicing going on at the moment. I think the closest we've got to an argument is between Storner and Moore, running for 5th position as they make their way down into the hairpin. Pringle's through, Moore's through, and the other Pringle, Jason, follows in 3rd spot. Simon Meyer is very slowly catching Jason Pringle as they head up towards Speedway Corner. There's 6 laps left to run in the final of the Rotax Heavy New South Wales State Championships, as our leader Rick Pringle is at least 10-15 cart lengths clear of Trent Moore in position number 2 and Jason Pringle in position number 3, with Simon Meyer in 4th spot, holding position fairly well, not losing and not gaining. But those 4 are moving just a little bit further in front of Craig Saunders every time they come around. Saunders at just a little bit further back, so obviously off the pace just a little bit. So while I give the old raspy throat a call, we'll get Craig to finish it for us.
The battle for the best battle on the circuit is the 91 of Craig Saunders and the 57 of Chris Moore. It's a battle back there for 5th position as they work their way across the start-finish line. Saunders holding off Trent Moore, the Paradise Point driver, the Gold Coast driver, in fact, in Rotax Heavy. He is working his way in the intrepid CC Racing kart across the top of the circuit, but just can't find a way up to the Doonside driver of Craig Saunders. So Saunders now continuing to put the moves on, but unfortunately he just runs wide as they go into the infield, and that is going to be the 57 of Trent Moore, who leads the way. The 33 is Rick Pringle, still out in front. Now a battle brewing for third and fourth position, with Simon Meyer, the Balmain driver, making his way up onto the back bumper of Jason Pringle. The four-time state champion, Simon Meyer, working up the back straight now. He's right in the wheel tracks as they cross the bridge. Takes a very wide line out to try and get as much traction and keep as much momentum going as he works through tractor corner on the short chute now to the infield. You've seen that's been a reasonably effective passing point throughout this race. Running down the top five, Rick Pringle leads the way. Lane Moore still trying to close in, but at the moment a 1.3 second gap between your leader and second place runner is the difference. Jason Pringle and Simon Meyer still battling it out, but Meyer has made the pass now, and the three cart of Simon Meyer goes back to third spot. He's done well coming out of position number 8 in after the pre-final to work his way back up onto the podium. Rick Pringle in the 33. Lane Moore, with the drive of the race, out of position 18, has driven up to second spot, and now it's the three cart of Simon Meyer who is ahead of Jason Pringle, the pole sitter, who has been backing back right throughout this run. Off the circuit, the 78 cart of Adam Thompson pulls back into the pits. Simon Meyer in the three cart. Does he have enough time with 2 laps remaining to be able to close in to make a run on second place? Jason Pringle still trying to hold on to the back of Simon Meyer, but at this stage not able to do so. Your race leader is the camera car of Rick Pringle from Victoria in the J. Pringle Autos CRG Australia Pro Karting entry, and he heads back down the hill as they come towards the final lap of the race along the short chute, and it does look like Lane Moore is starting to close in on the back of that 33 cart. Lane Moore, who finished third in the Pro Tour Round 3 and first in the Queensland Rotax Series this year, is looking for a chance to go to the top step on the podium for the New South Wales Sergeant's Pies Sprint Karting title in Rotax Heavy, brought to you by International Karting Distributors as they head up the hill for the final time. The 33 still has a handy buffer. Rick Pringle leading the way. So Pringle leads in the 33 car through to tractor corner and then onto the short chute once again. This is where Lane, on the infield, Lane runs off the circuit in the 9. And Lane loses a lot of ground, won't lose third position, but shaking his head as he knows that any chance of a win is now well and truly gone. Your race leader heading towards the checkered flag and victory in the Rotax Heavy New South Wales Sprint Karting Championships. It's Rick Pringle who greets the checkered flag. He's happy with that as he pumps the air. Second place goes to Lane Moore. Third place to Simon Meyer. Then it's back to Jason Pringle in the 35. Trent Moore with a good drive in the 57 after dramas just getting out there to make a start. Sixth place goes to Craig Saunter in the 91. Jay Waugh with a strong drive up into 7th position in the 99 cart. Then 8th place goes to Daniel Baker in the 77. 9th place going to Grant Donnelly in the 11. And rounding out the top 10, it's Matthew Solomon. A great run there for the Rotax Heavy in the International Kart Distributors Rotax Heavy final.